good to be back at the Gov. 3 home games in 3 days. Longest home stand of the season begins tonight. Doors looking for a home season sweep of the Chatham Anglers. Coming up here on Cape Cod. Should be a fun night for baseball. Aiden Blank, MJ Newsom. It's great to be with you. MJ, good to see you again. And the Doors seeing an opponent that they beat the first time around here at home.
Last time around against Chatham, it was a fun one coming off a really tough loss against Brewster. That game 7-6 in 7 innings, but this one all fun at Gov Fuller Field. And it started with a great pitcher's duel through 5 innings. Gage Wood for Falmouth went 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, no earned runs. Liam Paddock, 4 1/3, 8 strikeouts, 4 hits. Big goose eggs after 5 innings. Take a look at the Harwich batting order. A team that's going to have to get hot as they face a Commodores team that's red hot. Cade Curlin slides into 6-hole, Braden, a guy that is going to be the second baseman in the All-Star game, and he'll be starting for the East Division.
Yeah, Curlin's looked really good this summer, and the 20th game he'll play with the Mariners this summer. But I do want to point out 3 catchers on the Mariners roster, all of which in the lineup today. Luke Heyman, Wilson Welber, and Macon Winslow. You've got one of them obviously catching in Weber, but then you've got Luke Heyman who's playing first base, Macon Winslow out in left field. So it just shows you the depth of the position players for the Mariners. They can kind of play anywhere.
And that's one thing we've seen across Cape Cod is guys playing out of position and really trying to find a new home for them, whether they go back to school, a different school, become more versatile as they head back to spring ball. Well, let's take a look at the guy that the Mariners are going to be facing. It's the southpaw Parker Coyle, also an all-star in Braden. He has pitched a tremendous amount of games this summer, 11 to be exact. This is his 12th, and he has really done a great job in a starting role as of late.
Yeah, and you talk about guys adjusting to new roles. Parker Coyle making his 4th start of the summer, 20 1/3 innings pitched, and it's a guy that last started against Bourne on the 18th. You did get a loss in that game, 5-1. He hasn't gotten the results necessarily, but he's given the Commodores some good starts this summer.
Big strikeout guy, does not issue the free passes. You see, not too hot or too cold. We've seen him at times have solid innings, some worse innings, then he's got to bounce back, but he's always been able to find his groove.
Back. Another inning for Tony Pluta after he came in a tricky situation and surrendered 2 runs in the first out of his day. Commodores have switched the vibe very, very quickly. Remember, in the top of the 6th inning, they lost the lead basically for the first time since the 2nd. It was 2-2, and then all of a sudden they burst out for 3 runs in the last of the 6th and have themselves a lead on the back of the guy you saw delivering his own rendition of God Bless America, Isaiah Barkat. Last of the 7th. Doors a chance to build on this lead. It'll be Turley, Jones, and Caraway coming up for the Doors. They've held Wareham to 6 hits. They're getting out hit. They were out hit on Friday as well. Be the 2nd time in 3 games they get out hit and win the game potentially.
Well, at least on the bright side, Aiden, you got more hits than you do errors this game. That was the big story Friday night. 5 errors and I believe 4 hits for the Commodores in the win over at Harwich.
I don't know, Braden. They seem to have embraced that.
I mean, again, I'm no Billy Bean here, Moneyball, but there's got to be some sort of stat for that runs, unconventional runs, scoring, the unearned runs, the sack flies, the sack bunts, all your non-traditional RBI runs, because the Commodores are finding ways to squeeze home these runs on some of those unconventional ways.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the vibe was yesterday at batting practice after the game on Friday. Is Brad Stoll was telling us, hey, what we did with their errors is more than what they did with our errors, right? The biggest problem they were having in the beginning of the season was they would commit these errors and it would seriously jeopardize their ability to win the games because they would all turn out to be major mistakes. Those mistakes that they made in the field have become less and less major as the pitching has gotten a little bit better. And these pitchers have certainly had to barrel down. That's a barrel out to left field and a knock for Turley to start the bottom of the 7th.
About the first hit of the game for Gavin Turley, able to smack one through the left side. And now you set the table for Jason Jones, Trent Garraway coming up.
Sam Meddert's day is done, and his line is done as well. Inning and a third, no hits, but 3 earned runs surrendered on his name. So none of those runs get charged to Tony Pluta. You mentioned the only earned runs he's given up all year came against Wareham, against Falmouth. That continues. Deep foul down into the Commodore bullpen.
And I mean, it helps when a pitcher like that is just automatic. Yeah, I mean, you come in a tough situation, you don't get charged the runs necessarily. They still come home and score, which isn't ideal for the Gatemen. But hey, they still got a 3-run lead, or the Commodores got a 3-run lead. So sometimes it just happens.
Here's JJ, Jason Jones. Most of these Commodores hitters getting played right up the middle. Runner goes, and this is an easy stolen base for Turley. He got a great break and finishes at the bag. Even better, it is a stolen base to put another runner into scoring position. Look at this jump. My goodness, that is a leap and a half, and it really pays off. He was there about half a second ahead of that throw. And now Jones has an RBI opportunity. You've given that opportunity to a guy who has just hit, especially in the month of July.
Though I'm wondering what Jackson Willits is doing next to Bowen Baker in the bullpen there. Yeah, number 18 on the left side, Jackson Willits, a traditional infielder for the Commodores. He's taking a round of bullpen with Bowen Baker, who's warming up. Also curious, you got the whole bullpen gathered around out there. All getting ready to do battle out there.
Bowen is not the only one that's warming up. Per our sideline reporter, MJ Newsom, Jackson Willits is also starting to get himself warm. Again, we expected Willits to jump in there at the DH spot tonight, but they don't go with him. He didn't start yesterday either. Been on a bit of a cold streak recently. Jones is rung up for the first out of the inning.
Hey, how about that? Plus you got Brian Coleman out there with the bullpen guys. I mean, they're just having fun out there, right? Isn't that the part of summer ball?
Absolutely. Trent Carraway's had a great day. In 3 at-bats, he's been on twice, a single and a walk in his last 2. Got his fellow Beeve, Gavin Turley, out there at second. He didn't get a good enough jump there to take third base. They've gone to the bottom of the 8th with Bourne and Hyannis. 3-1 game. You need the Hawks to come back and win that if you want to gain 2 points on Bourne potentially tonight. Here's the pitch to Carraway, and it's up top. Final from earlier today, battle of first and first. YD 6 and Katuit 3. Chatham also beat Brewster 7-3. That was big, helping them remain in second place there in the East Division. Obviously, Brewster's still a way to go, but that just adds 2 more points between you. Tough play from short. Jimenez throwing, and it's in time. Just barely ahead of the runner Carraway, who really gave it everything he had down the line. Great hustle, but not enough to get himself on. And now it'll be in the hands of Gavin Keelan, who's found himself on a couple of times in this contest.
And they're all attacking on the first pitch, too, from Gavin Keelan. He's attacking early in the count. He's putting the ball in play. A lot of hits to the outfield.
He's got some room on the right side of the infield. That right center alley. Middle infielders, Desiro, Jimenez, they've been giving a lot of room to most of the Commodores hitters on the right and left side of the infield. They've been playing up the middle. But this time they give them a lot more space than they have with previous hitters. The count evens out at 1-1. Turley's out there at second base. He singled and then stole it. Just looking for somebody to bring him around. Commodores are only 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight, but they made it count. 5 runs on the evening. A nice healthy cushion on the gateman. That is a shot to right. If it's fair, it's gone. This thing is way gone. Holy smokes, Gavin Keelan, absolute mammoth shot. 7-3 Doors in what's got to be the longest home run of the Cape League season. Almost 405 feet into the parking lot at 100 miles an hour.
How about it?
Wow!
And talking with Gavin pregame, he was mentioning how yesterday his goal was just to hit the ball in the air. He was tired of grounding the ball out so much. He just wanted to get underneath one and put it into the sky, and that's back-to-back games with a home run. As you can see, the trot, he knew it that ball was gone over 400 feet.
Wow. That was, I don't really know how else to describe it. That was a moonshot. The height is really what got me, and where I thought maybe that becomes longest of the season. Not quite, but 405 might be the longest a Door has hit one this season.
Caraway had one longer out to left fields.
Yeah. And the one that hit the scoreboard, maybe. If you're counting how far it would have traveled.
Getting really mathematical with it, eh?
See if Gaffney can continue on here. He strikes out and the inning is over, but the Doors get some much needed insurance. 7-2. And this lead is just becoming bigger and bigger. End of 7 here at the Gov.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just one click away. Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store located at 147 T-Ticket Highway and try a slice today.
From all of us at Supreme Pizza, we would like to wish the Falmouth Commodores a great season.
Cape Cod Baseball is brought to you by Take Care Cape Cod, Mass State Lottery, Cape Cod Healthcare, Kinlan Grover Compass, Sullivan Tire, Badger Sports, Cape Destinations, OT Sports, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Cape Cod Resort and Spa, Sports Picks, Axis Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, Sunderland Printing, and Bluebird Hotels. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Back at the Gov. Everybody still admiring that home run, but you got to start looking forward. 3 games back in the playoff race. With a handful of games remaining. Only 1 game remaining in the regular season that's not on there, and it is a Sunday contest, August 4th against Wareham, the regular season finale. 3 road games in 4 days. Perfect time to be playing well on the road. Commodores have won points in their last 2 road games, but still only 2 wins away from the Gov this season, and they're going to try and extend that with matchups in Chatham and Cotuit and Orleans. Here's Bowen Baker, left-hander out of Fairfield University, making another appearance, his 9th of the season, and he will potentially take it the rest of the way with this no longer being a save opportunity. See a little bit of action down in the Commodore bullpen, but again, you'd love to just ride Baker out the rest of the way, go into the off day, and get everybody else another day of rest. Brings in Murph Gray. If anybody's going to get the Gateman some offense, it's going to be him. Had his first hit of the day back in the 6th inning, his last appearance at the plate. And Murph takes a strike. Seven to 2. A 5-run advantage for the Doors. They have scored 5 in their last 2 innings. Murph goes chasing. It's 0-2. Gavin Wilhelm is in the pen. He has taken in the role of closer here, Braden.
Done it magnificently so far.
Well, we just mentioned it's not really a save opportunity. So again, if Bo has the stuff tonight, and hopefully he does, it certainly looks so far like he might, I like riding him out the rest of the way. Give Wilhelm an extra day of rest. And then everybody's off tomorrow. And how about a great strikeout to start the day for Bowen Baker? We highlighted Murph Gray in the open as this colossal force offensively, and he has now gone 1 for 4.
That's all it takes. When you want to silence this Wareham team, you got to start with their big hitters, and Murph Gray, Brennan Summerhill, Johan Desero, the top 3 in their lineup, all all-stars. You keep them to 1 for 11 in the top 3. That's how you win a ball game right there.
Yeah, and the scouting report on this Gateman offense was they've been very, very inconsistent in how they've played their baseball recently. One day they'll be red hot, and one day they won't. That can either, in a playoff scenario, work in your favor or work against you, especially when it's only one game.
Exactly. I mean, it's a long Cape Cod Baseball League season, Aiden. You're going to see your highs. You're going to see your lows. It's about how you can hit those lows as little as possible and come back better because of them.
5-5 in their last 10. Remember, at one point, they'd won 6 in a row early in the season. That's how they really started to take over the West Division. 3-2 in their last 5. They have not lost more than 2 in a row this season, though. That's been probably their biggest asset, is that this team does not string together losses of 4 or 5 in a row like last year's team did. They lose 2, but they haven't lost more than that. They will be able to bounce back.
That's consistency right there, and you got to give credit to head coach Ryan Smythe, able to get these guys back down to earth, be like, hey, you lose a couple games, but it's a long season. Put it behind you. Focus on the next one. Every day is new in the Cape Cod Baseball League. It's not like MLB where you play a 3-game series against the same team. You see a new team every night and a new opportunity to get the win.
Fisted right side. Gaffney flips, and Baker has 2 out. The Gatemen have not lost on a Sunday this year. They are 4-0 in Sunday games, including 2 wins on Sunday against the Commodores. Both of their trips here have been on Sundays. This would be their first Sunday loss. The Commodores enter this ball game at 0-4 on Sunday, and so you could hand Wareham their first Sunday loss and get your first Sunday win in the same situation here.
Just thinking, you talk about the Sundays. When the schedule came out, 5 meetings between these two. Sounds like 4 of the 5 were on Sundays then, because the 2 trips we take to Spillane were supposed to both be on Sundays. So how about it? 4 out of the 7 Sundays was supposed to be Falmouth Wareham.
And the next Sunday you play them will be the last Sunday of the season. It'll be August 4th, as we just mentioned, with that upcoming schedule graphic. Bourne leads 3-1 going to the bottom of the 9th. Again, you need the Braves to lose if you want to gain any ground in that playoff chase. Though I suppose you do gain 2 points on Hyannis. They're fairly far up. It's going to be very difficult to catch them, but worth noting. The only interdivisional matchup today, YD and Katuitt. Skied out to right, and Bowen Baker has himself a 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen. Doors are going to be 3 outs from their second win over Wareham this season. We're going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Last ups likely for the Doors.
on the ground here. Barquette, Fields, tags, and we're finished. The swan song for Riley Stanford ends in a save, and the Commodores take down the league's best in the YD Red Sox 4-2 here at Go Fuller Field.
And they're mobbing Riley Stanford. How about picking up the save? That's how it's done right there. What a way to put a bow on his summer. And what a way for this Commodores team to really rally and pick up a win against, you mentioned, the first place team in the league, and with Bourne not playing, you just picked yourself up a game in the playoff race.
Commodores now within 5 points of the Bourne Braves. Did not play tonight against Orleans. That one postponed. But all smiles and cheers over at second base for the Commodores, inching closer and closer to that fourth and final playoff spot.
Yeah, that's all it takes. You just got to get one game to have you get hot. And this was a team edge that was playing good baseball going into the All-Star break, able to continue that momentum here today. Now you go on the road for the next 2 games, and you play a monumental game on Thursday. Hyannis a big one tomorrow. If you can try to sneak out some points there, that would be huge for this team to try to make that playoff push.
You only see one more East Division team in the next handful of games. It's Brewster on Friday here at the Gov. Back inside the booth, MJ Newsom alongside Braden Shank. You go to Hyannis tomorrow. You get one more off day on Wednesday to kind of recollect yourself before it's a big stretch the rest of the way.
Yeah, it is indeed. And again, you're chasing now 5 points. You do have that doubleheader on Saturday, but with Bourne skipping a game today, you kind of level yourself off. You got 6 games to play now. It's much doable here. You pick up 2 points today. You're 2.5 games back. And tonight is a big win against a YD team that has looked very good throughout the course of the summer. Only their 5th loss away from Red Wilson Field this summer, and only their 2nd loss in the last 10 games, MJ. So a big win for the Commodores tonight, and they're able to pick up their 14th win on the summer.
A big win for the Doors. We've got bigger thoughts for you as we move throughout this post-game show. We'll step away momentarily. Stick with us here on the Commodores YouTube channel. Aiden Blank will have our player of the game when we come back.